All right, so once you have your letter printed out, I chose Helvetica because that's classic. It's ubiquitous, it's everywhere. And that is something that, I don't know, I don't think of myself as ubiquitous, but I like this font. What you're gonna do is, once it's printed out, on the back, we're going to color in just around sort of the edges of the letter, if you will. You don't necessarily have to fill it in all the way around because we're just gonna trace the outline of it. We don't need to transfer the entire image, just the outline. So you're gonna take yourself a pencil, and if it's hard for you to see sort of where the edges are, hold it up to a light and you'll sort of be able to see behind the edges of that letter. A nice way to sort of do this is you can go find a window and use the window as a light box, if you will, to sort of show you the edges of that letter. But I can, by looking at it carefully, can kind of tell where the edges of that are. So you're just gonna shade around the edges of the letter. Hopefully you guys can sort of tell how I did that. And the more time you spend on this, the darker and heavier your graphite from your pencil, just the better results you're gonna have. So then what you're gonna do is, once you have something that looks like this, is you're gonna flip over your letter, line it up with your 8x8 inch backer board, and you can cut this out along the edges or just sort of line it up. And then what I'd actually recommend doing as well, this is just for purpose of demonstration, but cut it out and then tape this to your backer board. That way it doesn't slip. If your backer board slips, then the alignment of your letter will be all wonky and you'll be upset. So you're gonna line up the corners of your paper with your backer board best you can, and then this is where you're gonna trace the edge of that letter, just like this. And you can go heavy, you can go dark. The more pressure you apply here, the better the job that graphite on the other side will do of adhering to your backer board, okay? So I'm not gonna do this whole letter here, but I just wanna show you how this process works. And maybe that'll help you to do a better job when you go to color in the back. So I just went around sort of the front part of this letter just to show you. Nice heavy, nice thick lines. And then when you take this away, you can see the letter on the other side. And it's kind of an impression. I probably didn't do as good of a job as I could of coloring that in really nice and dark and heavy, so I can always go back and add more. But at least you have an impression of the letter that you traced. And if you need to go back with more pencil over that, at least it's kind of a starting point. So the better a job you can do of coloring and shading the back, the better your image transfer will be when you go to trace your letter.